What's going on, guys? This is Azrael the Great from Innovation Haven, and we are bringing a Let's Play series on one of my favorite games, 7 Days. Now, this is going to be an episode based, and we're trying to see how far we can go. This is on the new Alpha 17 stable that just was released during the Christmas holiday, and it's loaded with new updates. On Alpha 16 from 17, they redid the UI, how the graphics are a lot different, and there's a lot of changes from 16 to 17, excuse me. But if you've never played 7 Days before, it is a survival tower defense type game. In layman's terms, it's basically Minecraft, but with better graphics. Not as much modding, so to speak, but it's just way better graphics in my opinion, and the gameplay is much better to me, anyways. Even though Minecraft has been around a lot longer. So first things first, like I said, if you've never played, you want to go through the quest, which is up in the upper right hand corner, and it'll tell you how to basically, get started. So right now, your main focus is to get plant fibers, and I'm still getting wood, and what this is for your bedroll, your clothing, and weapons, tools, things of that nature. I found out from 16 to 17 that yucca plants, they redid the yucca juice, which gives you, and you'll see in a bit, but they redid it, and it's a lot better for you than just eating the plants themselves. So, and you'll see here that you get the yucca fruit. It's just better to make the juice this go around. So first, do the craft a bedroll. I like to use the hotkeys. You don't have to. You could just click on it if you want. Also, before, there used to be just 36 slots. Now there's more, but you start with less. And the new leveling points system is a huge change from 16 to 17, which each attribute contributes to different skills, and that when you finish the quest line, which is, I think it's 8, possibly 9 tasks. One is to create a bedroll and place it, and once you finish them, you get, I think it's 5 skill points for completing the quest. So it's really imperative that you just complete it as fast as possible. Now, I put the bedroll is for if you die, wherever your bedroll is, that's where you spawn, or you can spawn right next or close to it. The reason why I put it down and pick it back up is because I don't plan on staying here, and you just picking it back up just completes the quest by just putting it down. So putting it down and picking it back up, you just do that. You can walk and then run. Running, as you can see, drains your stamina. A change from 16 to 17, which I kind of understand this change, is stamina didn't used to, your max stamina used to not drain, but now in 17, your max stamina rejuve is it when you keep doing stuff, punching and doing exertion, you don't gain as much stamina back. Sort of like you're getting tired or you're getting hungry, stuff like that. So in order to keep your stamina as high as possible, you have to eat. drinking water just replenishes. It does not rejuvenate your max. So if you run, if you cut down trees, punch a lot, do a lot of fighting, combat, stuff like that, you have to continuously eat. And I just stepped on a cactus. Cactus does hurt you. The same with HP. There's a gray bar. You could barely see it. When you eat, you can regen those hit points that you lost. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just gaining a bunch of resources, and I need to find small stones. In the desert, it's really hard to find them, but if you find them, you just pick them up. And then I just found 2. But you can come into this biome, which is the wasteland biome, and you can find a lot of stones there. The forest biome has a lot of them. Typically in the desert biome, which is where we're in, you see a lot of rock or boulders and bedrock, and this is a boulder. We're going to make a stone axe here. And then this stone axe is going to be what I'm going to use a lot. So, your stone axe, as you can see, it's a 1. In the 16, it was 25, 50, and it went up by a certain increment. Well, now there is no, it's not that it's so much in value, but it goes up to 6. And then that represents, 100, 200, 300 quality and so on. Need to make clothes. And the reason why I said I wasn't planning on staying here is because typically you want to find a secure location inside, a city or a house near a city or a building near the city, because the city is where it's going to be respawning your stuff. And as you can see, I'm near a town. A little bit of setting. So your that is an animal. Oh, it's a rabbit. Ooh. A zombie. I need to make shoes. Put this stuff on. W is to put the stuff on. My next quest is going to be build a wooden club when it shows up, because the next quest is to putting on your clothing. So you make it and then put it on, and then you skip that part. Craft. You don't really need the land claim block. It's only if you're playing with multiplayer or if you're going to move locations. And you'll see if I need to move your your forges. That's what I meant to say. So I can see a town from here, and combat and a lot of combat oriented stuff has changed. There's now a regular hit and then a power attack, and the hitbox is really, really sensitive. If you're not square on the zombie, you're not going to hit him. As you can see, if I put it here and I swing, I miss. But right here, so you have to be very precise about your hits. And if you power attack a lot, it wastes a lot of stamina, and it drains your max, so you use a lot more energy. The 17 stable is not as up to date. There's still a lot of issues. They're minor, but it's enough to be noticed. And it's only for those that have been playing a while. If you're into, it depends on what you're into. If you like to build a lot, you're not gonna notice. But if you're into every single nuance of the game, then you'll notice certain things that are just not correct. But they fixed a lot. For example, before the stable, a feral zombie, military zombie, if it was feral, it couldn't die, which is a big deal. And I forgot to mention the reason, if like I said, if you've never played before, the reason why it's called 7 Days and the reason why it's a survival tower defense, is because every 7 days, and you can see the time counter up top, day 1, time, what time of day it is. I'm playing, and I actually got sidetracked and what I meant to say earlier is setting setup. So in the settings, I'm playing on random world generation. The default world is called Navezgane, and it's set up as a real world with, towns, a couple of cities, houses everywhere. But the way they did randoms is a little bit different than 16. If you've played 16 before, they made like a couple of cities in the big scheme of things, but there's a lot more like this. Towns and houses together with cities sprinkled in, as opposed to the old 16 random where there was just towns or huge cities and there wasn't like just houses are being built. Another thing that was changed, houses were just houses. They were just, aesthetically pleasing. Now, we don't need those yet. Those are crossbow. We're not going to have that for a while. So houses now are dungeons, essentially, and each house you go into has a potential to have loot. So it's not like before where you can walk into a house and like, oh man, I don't need to go in there because they're hardly ever, all it's going to have is clothes or maybe a safe. Now it has a potential of having underground basements and, stuff where you can find loot boxes and things of that nature. I'm in this town, but I need to go over here because I need to find stores. You don't want to take refuge in a house. There's water here. We actually need that. The reason why you don't want to take refuge in a house is because typically there's not like places to sit, or it's not conducive. You can do refurbishes and stuff like that. Like I'll probably have to take refuge in a house sometime if I can't find somewhere to be or some city or something to to start. But typically in the houses, it's not conducive for living. So, and usually you want to build your own because it's start. And the way I want to build mine or the base that I want to build is going to be a ramp style. If you've never checked out Reach Gaming or my favorite 7-day streamer, Grand Spartan, he got the idea from somewhere else where the ramp style base, and I'm going to build it on this Let's Play and see how it works. I actually have yet to test it out, so we're going to test that here. And the reason why they ramp style base is what you want to use is basically for the new zombie pathing. From 16 to 17, the zombie pathing has been dramatically changed. And the reason why is because it was really, really easy to build your base for 16. Well, Alpha 17 now, the zombies are, for lack of better expression, smarter than... They're really smart. And their pathing is calculated by blocks. Each piece, house, whatever, contains a block. And they calculate how far, how long it's going to take, and all that by, the artificial intelligence by how they're going to get to you is you know, the long and short of it. And they don't attack. It's not just they go just for you. They're going to go for what's the easiest way to get to you. So if you build a base that, say, you're in the sky like a high rise and you have supports, they're not going to try to come for you. They're not going to be like, go to the middle of the base and then try to get to you by looking up or shooting at you or stuff like that. They're going to come for your supports. And that's much different than what they used to, because zombies, you know, they're mindless, right? They don't find, you know, intelligent ways to come at you. That's why 17 is a lot different than 16. 16, it was just, they're just going to come at you in waves and that's it. Well, here they do the same thing, except it's done by coming at you in an intelligent way. And some of the base defense type stuff, you know, like spikes, and has made it rendered useless. So you can use spikes. I tend not to use them in 17 because they're very, very weak. You could probably use them for the first 7-day horde, which we're going to try, but it's not that great. You don't want to get too close because he'll hit you in the legs and can give you a sprained leg. We're running here. Those birds will continuously follow, but I haven't built a wooden bow yet. I should, but I want to take shelter in something first before I do, or they're just going to keep attacking me. I use the power attack there and hit. Typically power attacks, if you hit them in the head, they fall down in stun, or they're stunned, excuse me. And usually in the beginning of the game you want to pick up as many resources as possible, even if you don't like need them, because you never know when you're going to use them. Feathers, eggs, small stones. Every once in a while you want to check up and see if a bird is following you, because they don't stop coming at you. Eventually you'll have to kill them or find shelter to where they eventually leave. I want to go up there. Alright, I'm just going to build this now. Alright, well, we found our first city. Headlights might be useful. Where am I at? We're gonna go run over here to where you can see in the background a fire station. I saw a sign behind there. I'm gonna see what we can muster there. We might take shelter in the clear out the fire station. Actually, that looks like a theater, not a fire station. We'll find out when we get there. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's a theater. That's a snake. I'm not dealing with that this low level. Huh, the bird stopped following. Interesting. Okay, so we should be fine. You also want to keep grabbing these aloe plants. So when you turn them into aloe cream, you have to have the skill, but once you're able to craft first aid bandages like the one I have here, you want to keep those. Stops bleeding and heals you. Yeah, it's a theater. So right now it's a bit unfortunate where I'm at that I haven't found something to I'm out of stamina. Means I can't swing. Oh, grocery store. Small grocery store. Ooh. Actually, I might take shelter in here. It's gonna be a while before I can get in there, though. Might just take shelter in there first, though. This has everything in it. It has food, or food loot, ammo, stuff like. Actually, I'm gonna use that as a respawn type. I'm gonna see if I can find something else. What is going on? Something's breaking. Oh, why is it breaking? That's the medical side, so I'm not that upset, but this must have loaded really wrong for it to do that. I've never, it's gonna destroy the entire thing. God, that's, okay, yeah, so this seed loaded with, as you can see, some of the, I've never seen this before, honestly. So it loaded with the, supposed to be flat ground, but it also loaded with this little, for lack of a better expression, a plateau type. And this loaded with it not completely touching the ground. So the weight of everything and the mechanics is basically just, yeah, wow, that's awful. Well, I can still loot this and kill all these zombies, but we're gonna eat this. Get some stamina back. Well, that's rather unfortunate because I was gonna take refuge in there, but now I can't. Well, I can. It's gonna be weird. When you fight zombies one-on-one, typically, unless they're ferals are always running. When you fight them, you want to swing, hit them, and then run backwards or walk backwards. If you're not encumbered completely, I'm encumbered a little bit, but not enough to be slower than the zombie in front of me. So all you have to do is just go forward, hit, and walk backwards. And they shouldn't hit you. So this is a little bit awkward for combat, so I'm just going to let them walk and follow me. Every night, not the first night, every day at 12 or noon in game is a drop, and that drop has a lot of stuff in it. Typically food, sometimes rounds, and a weapon of some sort, like a AK-47 or a SMG or a sniper rifle, stuff like that. In the 16, sometimes the drop would have good stuff in it, and other times it wouldn't have anything useful in it. This time around, Alpha 17, you have a lot of stuff you can use. I'm trying to swing and I need repairs. The cool thing about it is if you repair it and it was in your belt, it goes straight to your belt. And if I didn't say so before, I'm playing on default settings, complete default. So days, at least on mine, it says days are 90 minutes long. We're on Nomad. This guy's not dead. And town or respawn rates are every 5 days. Certain servers sometimes run every day if they have multiplayers on, and that was a respawn. Are you kidding me? All right. This is gonna be a lot of free iron. if you're wondering, that icon on the bottom left, this one just is elemental protection for the first hour. It means that I'm not affected by any, you know, overheating, really cold, stuff like that. Just gonna repair this now. Had to shut off my Facebook, excuse me. So we're just gonna wake these guys up. That was unfortunate. Another zombie. Ooh, there's a passing gas over there. Need car parts. The magic level that you want to get to, zombies coming at me, is 20. 20 is when you can make a bicycle. Bicycle is like one of the most efficient vehicles that you can use. It doesn't cost or take a lot of resources. Dang it, I can't. And you can go really, really fast on a bicycle. Your motorized vehicles like the mini bike and the car go somewhat faster, but not a lot faster, because in the old game, in Alpha 16, depending on the quality of engine would determine how fast your bike went. Now there's no quality on engines, so it doesn't matter. So they go the same speed. Don't need cans for anything. Rotting flesh, not really. I need to put this in my belt, actually. How much wood do I have? I'm going to make... Actually, I'm going to wait for that. Need food. Hopefully this has decent food in it. You have to break these to open them. Darn, not great stuff. You can't eat that sandwich. All you used it for. I mean, you can eat it. It's just not conducive for, because you can get food poisoning or get sick. Huh. 0 for 2. It's rather unfortunate. I would go in the ammo one, but there's only a gun safe in there, and I have just a stone axe to open it. I would use one night to open it, because that's how long it would take. It takes a really, really long time for that to be opened. So we're in a very unfortunate town, because we haven't found what typically is in a town or in a city, and that is a gun store or a Shamway Foods, and then the one thing we did find had completely crumbled to pieces because of a bad seed. I guess we can go in the little makeshift grocery store over there, but ooh, I take back what I said. There is a Shamway Foods over there. Okay, so we got a food store. The gun store would have been ideal, but it's not needed. You can find rounds almost anywhere. And the reason why I said we need to find something quick is because you want to get settled in so that you know exactly what you want to do. And I want to be able to, you know, have a base, starting to have a base. And you need to be somewhere where you can put all your stuff. I don't like fighting zombies as much in 17 as much as 16, because right now, at least right now, the developers are trying to balance the XP for combat, but right now XP per zombie is not that high for the average. So this guy's taking a really, really weird. There we go. See how sensitive that hitbox is? You get 550 per normal zombie. The bigger ones, you get 800, and the big time military and biker and stuff like that, you get 1200 or 900. I don't know. It's been balanced more than once, so I can't remember what the actual output is, but you want to... I guess we can pick these up since we're going into a... Actually, we're going to use that building over here. I'm just going to set up right now. The more encumbered you are, the harder it is to gain stamina back. So you want to be careful when you're encumbered not to use as much stamina. You always want to try to hit him in the head. You can't do it all the time, but if you can, you should. It deals a little bit more damage. Alright, I'm taking all that even though I'm encumbered, because most of that stuff I could use. That dude is hitting this stuff. Oh, where'd he come from? Okay. So I'm gonna use this. Well, I didn't want to fall, but because I didn't want to hurt my legs, which is possible. I'm gonna let them come to me. Oh, he was in there. That's why. Okay. Like I said, I prefer not fighting zombies because the... See, I'm right at the encumber. Okay. This guy is like... Because the average experience output is not great. You can destroy a boulder and a half and get the same amount of experience as killing a zombie, and sometimes killing a zombie doesn't, most of the time now, is killing zombies doesn't net you any resources, as in Alpha 16 where they could sometimes have loot. Now it's rare that they have loot, but when they do, it's a lot more loot than before. He died. Alright. This is why I said combat deal is, as you can see, my stamina, I'm at, I think my max is like 70. Yeah. Just by looking at it. And I'm getting, ooh, I was close. I'm getting to the point now where my encumbrance is making me just as fast as the zombies are. This guy... Okay. I'm gonna get away from him. Because if he hits me, not good. Alright. Okay, so... You want to check cars a lot. Always has some chainsaw. Interesting. Crappy, but I'll take it. I mean, I can't repair it. I have to have the schematic for it, but I guess I can start getting money. All right. I guess we'll go in this little store since it's open. We need to find something to eat, though. And there's nothing in here. Not even on the top. Ooh, somebody hit me. Oh, they're from up there. Okay. The reason why I said we need to find something to eat is because we're not. Once we start getting into the 50s for stamina, it's like really, really hard to maintain, you know, fight or running or anything like that. I mean, yeah, we're gaining a lot of XP here, but we need to eat. Right, man. If you are in drawback from your bow, just push R and it'll take you out. Right clicking zooms in. Alright. Let's try again. They also incorporated the stealth system in 17 where it's actually visible. God, another zombie. I'm just getting this out of the way. It's not needed. 16 to 17 has made combat really, really hard, as you can see with the stamina, the stealth system, how hard it is to hit. That fighting a zombie. Now, finishing my thought, fighting zombies is easier one-on-one, but if there's multiples, especially if they're running, that makes it really, really difficult. And drop loot from zombies. This is rare, but when it happens, it has stuff. Like, I get armor. He had food. Painkillers, people use them. I don't. It's like one of those, you have to really, really need these. They did change them. I didn't even actually look at the stats, honestly. This is the first time I actually looked at them. Because I don't usually use them. I just sell them to the trader. Scrap this for leather. You'll need leather to make either a poncho or bellows for your forge. I'm just gonna eat this. Alright. More zombies. But I'm gonna make noise. Hopefully there's a zombie spawned in here. Come and help me knock this down. If not, it's not a big deal. It's also getting late. Nighttime in game is 2200, 10 o'clock. Daytime is 04. Ah! And I'm out of stamina. And I'm sick. There are zombies everywhere. Oh, a snake. Can I hit him? Nope. You don't want to waste your time with this if you don't have a weapon. I do. I don't want to make a lot of noise. I guess it doesn't matter at this point. All you need is to hit it once. Oh, how did I miss twice? Come on now. Roar. I think this is the most zombies that I've been playing on 17. This is the most zombies I faced on day one. even in a town. Like I said, as long as you're moving backwards, you have to continuously move backwards. If you don't, they'll hit you, and typically, on animation, they'll stun you. And if they stun you, it's not good for you. Against one zombie, they can stun you and you won't die. But if there's multiples, you're basically dead. Oh my goodness, come on. Get up there. Alright, hopefully the zombie waves, zombie horde adds whatever. You hear in the background there's still more. And a safe to boot. That's something I can knock around during the night when I'm not doing anything. Since typically your first couple nights you don't do anything, because if you alert any zombies, you're basically dead. Because they do a lot more damage at night because they're running and they are faster. They swing faster. Eat this. Just put this on. And first make a storage chest. And then put all of the stuff in that storage chest. Just put it here. I usually keep these type of resources with me. Actually, I'm not going to need this. But wood, we're not going to... as long as I don't use this, like have to remake it, I shouldn't need this. Repairing it only takes small stones. The torch, we're just gonna put this right here. Right clicking on a wall will stick it, and it just is your illumination for light. Keep the rounds. This. Another one. Put down my bedroll. Two of them. You know what? I'm gonna make a door. And upgrade said door. Alright. I'm gonna close these windows. Actually, I'm gonna close those windows at night. Let me drop all the rest of this stuff that I don't need. Now I'm not encumbered, so I won't waste as much stamina. I'm gonna make a couple more arrows. 35. Repair this. Repair this. Alright. Drink of water. Should be up to full 100%. Alright. Now, because my What's going on? Oh, still making these. Okay. Because I'm so close to the grocery store, I'm just gonna go into the back because I got about a couple hours to spare, and then search around for food again. But the base I want to build, what's this? Arrows. Okay. But the base I want to build, since this is flat land, the ramp style bit, and I'll find a place to put it. But I'm going to need a lot of cobblestone. And that comes from beating on these rocks and shoveling up the ground. There is one problem that I need to solve, and that is shoveling this ground gives me sand. I need to find somewhere to get clay, and that is not in the desert. I need to find the forest biome, which is why when I started here I should have tried to find the forest, and I am in knee deep in the wasteland. You can tell is these little yellowish brown color. I might need to run to the right or to the east. Yeah, it's, or just follow this street, this road. Alright, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make noise here and let the zombies come out and beat this down. They're also on the roof, and you can get up there over there with that ladder. If you hold the draw on the bow too long, you'll start to use stamina, which you don't want to do. Just run around here. In a fight like this, even with a couple, I wouldn't use the power attack because it uses way too much stamina. I would, however, use it if there was a runner just to knock him down. Cool thing too, added from 16 to 17, is you can pick up your arrows if they don't break. Always want to aim for the head. My accuracy is trash because I don't have a lot of skill points in it. But you can pick up your arrows if they don't break off those zombies. Alright. You notice no loot. Like I said, it's rare. Maybe if you, depending on how many zombies you kill a day, you may get one a day. 1 or 2 drops. Depending on how many you kill on average. You notice I hit a couple here, and they all woke up and broke this down. Now, wow, that was how many was actually in here. That's crazy. Oh, they busted this down too. Wow. Oh, wait a minute. This is a shamway, right? Yeah. That's insane. So, this shamway has pill cases, like out of the pop and pill store, which is the pharmacy or the hospital. But this is a really good find because now we get a lot of these and have a potential to find antibiotics and this first aid kits need beakers. The other thing I need to find is a cooking pot for when I make a campfire, which is part of once I start doing the rest of this. You really don't need these after you have so many of the first aid bandages, because this doesn't regain. Wait. Oh, I guess they do. Wait. No. Yeah, this regains 30 health. This doesn't regain any. This just helps your max health go back up. Okay. Oh, I gotta remember. Yeah, this doesn't... I don't know. I'll have to test it. I know I said I was coming for food, but I didn't notice this. Because this is... pill cases are important. Don't really need the steroids. I haven't used them. Vitamins have been changed, so there's really no reason to use them. Used to be help your wellness, but because wellness isn't a... regulated by how much you eat anymore, it's done by points. I don't need any of that. Alright. Ooh, what's in the cabinet? Ooh, food. You try to keep nitrate as much as possible because you're going to need it to make rounds, especially if you don't find a gun part store. You can find rounds anywhere. It's a lot easier to find them on Alpha 17, but it's always good to, when you get higher, to be able to make your own rounds, and you need nitrate powder to combine with coal to make gunpowder. All right. Notice my my eyesight thing there. That's the stealth meter. The higher it is, the easier it is for them to notice I'm around. Actually, I'm gonna need plastic to make tires. Power attacks do a lot more damage on blocks, on block attacks. This is considered a block attack. But if you don't use power attacks on, say, a tree or when you're shoveling, because you don't net more resources that way. The power attack system, I think, they need to redo it, because you lose way too much stamina and you don't net. It's not another net positive. It's only like used in emergency situations, in my opinion. Oh, I forgot. Blueberry pie is actually decent. Max stamina. If we were at 60 still, one of these would have put me at full. So, and since we did this at day 1, we can come back here at day 5 or day 6 at the relative same time, and it'll be respawn. So we'll come back day 7 right before the horde just to stock back up. Mega Crush, very good for when you're running. What was in here? Oh, yeah. So that'll be good enough for now. What's up here? Oh, coffee shop, warehouse, and a gun store. All right, so not all is completely lost. To be fair, this gun store. So this 3 building configuration. Another way you can tell if it's a dungeon is the entranceway is blocked, like the main entrance. And I only know this is a dungeon is because in one of my older games that I actually am playing on, was testing the Alpha 17, I ran into this, and it was the gun part store didn't have any boxes. You had to actually go in the basement, and it was an actual range, and you had to navigate this entire building structure because it's connected together, and in the back is connected together, and you have to navigate that whole thing, and you get loot from it. But I mean, the loot was decent. But just know that if you see 3 building structures like this, it can most likely be, especially with the doors, main entranceways blocked, it's most likely a dungeon. Big Mama. Bring it. I think Big Mama's worth the same. Maybe not. I'm about to find out. Yep, Big Mama's worth the same. The bloated... I think the bloated zombie's worth a little more in XP. I don't need none of that stuff. Brash you don't really care about until way later when you start making your own rounds. We don't have time to go through that, but I want to show you what this looks like in the back so that you can see that there's always a place to enter. In the dungeons, it gives you a place to enter from, and then you navigate through there. Yeah. So here is where you start. Right here. And then you navigate through. And the dungeons have everything you can possibly think of. Zombies, traps, loot, respawns, a boss. Yeah. So it's just like your dungeon. What's this? Sports bag. Nothing. And here I am saying we don't have time, and here I am walking through it. Sleeping zombie. Zombies that are on the ground like that and you haven't killed them, they're sleeping and they'll wake up if you haven't noticed already. So I am going to put my stuff back in my inventory. It's almost 2200. Make my way back. If you get lost, right, and you put your bedroll down and you can't find your way home, that's the little bed is the representation of where your bedroll is. And then once you make your base, which is what I'm about to do, it'll show you a little wall with a brick wall, and that is your base. Probably the next day on day 2, we'll probably go through the entire Shamway food store and in that dungeon. And then day 3, 4, 5, and 6 is all about resource gathering, because it's highly important that, and actually I think I found the forest area. I'm just going to take a run and see if this is anything, if it's forest or not. I don't think it is. Nope, it's still desert. So that's, honestly, that might actually be day 2, is making sure we find, might as well just grab this now and start gathering since there ain't nothing else going on. But take the road, take this road and follow it southeast, and then see if we can find anything other than the sand, because you can't dig sand and then find clay. You have to go find the forest biome and then dig from there. Now, if I need sand and rock, as in small stone, then I'll use that and I'll dig up the sand. but I don't. So that's what what we'll do. But I'll show you what when you finish the quest line. Passing gas, it's not as big, but you go in there too tomorrow. Get into our hiding spot. We have a lot less wood than I thought. This makes me wary. And it's late. So I'm just gonna finish. So wood frame. Glad it only actually I'm only gonna make 3 of them. Wood frames are great because you can use them for a lot of stuff. You can use them to climb, which is my main use for them, and you can use them for resources like fuel in your campfires. It's better to use them for that. So I'm gonna cover up one of these windows, and hopefully I have enough. Oh boy, I might not have enough to start the base. I do. Okay. Campfires next. And we're just gonna put this right here. What is going on? And the reason why I said you want a cooking pot is because you can't really do much without it. So as you can see, I'm level 3 and I have 6 points. So you gain 1 point per level, and I just finished the journey to the settlement. Doesn't count the last part, which is 1.5 clicks away. Wow. Usually, excuse me, the trader is about 400 to 800 meters away, but he is right here. It is 2200 by the sound. All zombies at night run, and they swing just a little bit faster. If they're feral, which you can tell the difference between a regular zombie and a feral zombie is the eyes. If their eyes are yellow, and you can see it in the distance, but if their eyes are yellow, they're feral. And I think uptick of experience is 200 extra per kill, but I haven't been paying attention since the update from unstable to stable. So let's go and put this stuff away. I mean, we got more than enough food, so put that in my... Yeah, we need wood and stone. Put this in here. Now, I mean, it's only for chemical purposes. I need a cooking pot, or else I can't make water out of murky water if I find it. And the way you get murky water is by going to any body of water, right? Which we did pass, which is good for us. And then and use your empty water bottles, empty bottles, right? Those are full of water, but you go to your... I know I had some. I thought I did. No. Anyway, But you just right click on the water and it'll make oh, there they are, glass jars. Just put this in your inventory and go to the water and then right click on it and then get it. So if you're in the shadow, right? If you're not in light, your stealth goes way up. Watch. So I'm walking. As soon as I step into the light, it goes up by a lot. So I'm going to... there is no such thing as sleep, so you're not sleeping, but we're going to beat on this. This is why I said it's going to take a while. You want to use a night to do this. And sometimes it's rare, but it does happen where your stealth is at 90 or 100 and you're doing this, and a zombie outside the building or the base that you're in will hear you, and they can hear you from very, very far away. So be careful. You can usually hear them from where you're at, and then just stop hitting it and your stealth will go down, and then they can't hear you or find you. And with construction tools like this, I don't even think, yeah, you can't power attack with these. So typically when you're with a safe, you want to use a pickaxe, which we don't have. So the stats I would use is anything that has to do with headshots, archery, combat. You don't really care too much about your hit points at 100 or your stat line or your your stamina, because most of the stuff doesn't matter, right? Your intellect, like hammer and forge, grease monkey, advanced engineering, all this tree, intellect and perception and strength are huge. These two, not so much, because in order for you to have in order to craft iron and use iron and build all that stuff is in hammer and forge. Your science, even making better, all you need really for cooking is just this one. That's it for a while. You don't care about this stuff until you get higher, right? Where perks actually matter. Same with your fortitude, your recovery. You'll have so many healing kits that healing slowly every hour is not a big deal. Intrinsic immunity, well insulated, all that stuff, not really. Heavy armor, if you use it a lot, probably, but not a big deal. Cardio, you don't get enough to warrant this. If you got like your first stat increase was 20%, then maybe. But with it being so low, it doesn't matter. You have to have it like really, really high for this to matter. And it's not worth spending early points on it. The early points that I usually use are one for sexual Tyrannosaurus, because this actually matters, because melee counts for when you're hitting not just in combat, but when you're doing resource gathering, shoveling and cutting down trees and mining. This actually is using the same numbers. So reducing the stamina usage is a big deal. 1 point in strength. 1 point in intellect. Now I can craft 2. These will be 2s the next time I craft them. and then extra damage and perception. I usually like to keep 1 or 2 perks just in case if I need to use them, but I don't like to use all my stats at once, especially in the early game. All right, so it's about 20 or 0-100 or midnight. So I'm gonna cut the episode here, but this is what I'm gonna be doing from now until the morning of 04. So when I come back to episode 2, this is where I'll be, and we'll go from here, and I'll leave this at like 1 or 2 hits, and then I'll show you what you'll get from a save. All right, but it's been a pleasure. I hope that this keeps going for a while, and I'll see you soon.